and it depends on how much faith and conviction they have. And so, greatness also rubs off. And so if we associate with those who have strong faith in the process, we can develop that faith as well. And of course, for us, according to the standards of devotional service, we're supposed to have one devotee whom we really trust and develop our Krishna consciousness under the guidance of that devotee, accepting him as our spiritual master. And I can share a little personal experience. Of course, I had many experiences with my spiritual master, because I'm fortunate enough to accompany him in his travels and preaching for a couple of months per year for the past I think 23 years. And of course, there are many episodes. But one of the episodes was connected to book distribution, and this month of December, according to Srila Prabhupada's desire, devotees are dedicating specifically to increase the distribution of his books. Of course, we are using the pretext of Christmas mood, because people are so much into buying and looking for nice gifts, and there can be no better gift than Srila Prabhupada's book, the gift which gives eternal benefit. And of course, for us, the month of December has little bit different connotation, because this is the month of Bhagavad Gita. This is the month when the main scripture, the foundational scripture of Krishna consciousness, was actually spoken. Just last Thursday, we've celebrated Moksha Day Ekadashi and Gita Jayanti, the day of appearance of Bhagavad Gita. And so this is our reason. And luckily, the appearance of Jesus Christ and appearance of Bhagavad Gita coincide in 1 month, in the same month, just a few days apart. And this particular story is connected to book distribution. I was distributing books for a number of years, since the very beginning, since I joined the movement. Sometimes devotees are asking me which temple I'm from, and I thought, Krishna consciousness can answer any question, but this is the only question I can't really answer. Just because, from the beginning, since I immediately joined traveling Sankirtan party, and we were traveling for a few years then, because not that many devotees in Russia knew English. And then when my spiritual master started coming, and then other senior Vaishnavas started coming, there was a demand that someone would travel with them and assist them as traveling secretary. So I just have this traveling karma. And I never stopped. For all these years, I continued traveling. Even when I was a temple president, I still traveled like most of the year around. And so my spiritual master was always encouraging me to distribute books, and he said, whenever there is an opportunity, when you are with me, whenever there are new people, you should try to distribute them Prabhupada's books. And one time, that was in Russia, and we were together was a Harinam in which he was taking part. He was not leading it. Sri Prahlad Brahma, who also was there, he led that Harinam, and he was playing Mridanga. And I decided, because there were so many people standing around the party, and they were listening and watching the devotees performing Harinam, so I thought it's a very good opportunity to distribute Prabhupada's books to these people. And we had some Prabhupada's books with us. And I was never like a big champion in book distribution, but I was not the worst book distributor either. I could distribute, quite substantial number of books in short time. And so I decided to demonstrate my skills in front of my spiritual master, and took few books. And I was pretty sure, normally, if people already standing and watching, it's easy to distribute them books. Everybody knows. And I was pretty sure that the books will go. And so I approached the first person, and the response was really shocking. It was completely cold. That this person didn't even want to look at me. And everyone knows that it means no chances. Absolutely no interest. But I was so surprised. I thought, it cannot be, and I tried. And then that person, still not even looking at me, just made a gesture with his hand, and he said, just go away. I'm busy. I'm watching what's happening. I'm not interested in your books. I was thinking, what's that? Must be some demon. Then I approached the second person. Pretty much the same cold response. Third person, same. Fourth and fifth. I was shocked. And I completely ran out of steam. I didn't want to try anymore. And I was very, very frustrated. And I was going back, and I was passing by my spiritual master. And I was so frustrated that I made a comment. I said, such a materialistic people in this town, nobody wants to even look at our books. Nobody wants to buy our books. And he looked at me, and he said, he was playing Mridanga, and he said, it all depends on your desire. And I was thinking, what he's talking about? He saw that I tried so hard, and it didn't work. It was not my fault at all. But, you cannot argue with Guru, right? Because Guru is representative of Krishna. And so, I thought, okay, I will not argue with him, but I will try again in front of him, and then he will see that it's not me, it's actually the people who don't want to buy books. I'll show him again. And so, and I took the books again, and I approached the first person who was standing nearby and watching the Harinam. And my approach this time was something like, you're not interested in these books, right? And the person looked at me and he said, why do you think I'm not interested? I am interested. And then he took the whole stack, the whole set of books away from me. And I thought, excuse me, we're not giving these books out for free. We're selling these books. You'll have to buy them. And the person said, no problem. I said, but these books are very expensive. Trying to talk someone out of buying Prabhupada's books. And he said, do I look like a poor man? How much are your books? And then I thought, okay, and I charged him like double price or something. And he said, no worries. And he paid more, and he said, you can keep the change for yourself. And I thought, what happened? And then I turned back, I looked at my spiritual master, and I saw he was laughing at me. I thought, no, it happened by chance. this lack of faith is so strong in us, right? And so I approached the second person, but I was already not that convinced. And I said, "What about you? Would you like to see the books?" And the second person said, "Yes, sure." Took the books with no, further discussions. Third, fourth person, so many people took the books. Practically everybody took the books. And I was young devotee at the time, and I was thinking, "Oh my God, it's a miracle." But now, of course, looking back at that situation, I could see, it's pretty clear there are no miracles. And this is actually my point, that there are no miracles in Krishna consciousness. It's very clear spiritual science. But Srila Prabhupada says that, ignorant people need miracles. So I was pretty ignorant at the time. And so I thought, wow, that's really, I'm still ignorant, but a little less. Now, at least I could, see what happened, because I was too proud. Very simple. I was too proud, and I was relying on my own quote unquote abilities, and so Krishna and Guru taught me a lesson. But then, after my false ego was smashed, and then I went back feeling really humble, then everything started happening. And so this is how it works every time in Krishna consciousness. I'm sure I'm not the only one around here with this experience. How many of you had this experience? You tried to do something for Guru and Krishna, but, really believing in yourself, and it really, nothing happened. It didn't work. But then when you kind of gave up inside of you, you thought, okay, I cannot do anything. And then things started happening. How many of you had that experience? Okay, we can see. It's pretty, standard. So we're all going through the exactly same process. It all, our efficiency in Krishna consciousness really depends on our purity, how much we are free from the vices which really blocking our spiritual advancement. And these vices are well known: kama, krodha, moha, lobha, mada, matsarya, lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, illusions. So, and the more we become free from this, the more Krishna manifests in our life, and the more faith we have in the process. So I wanted to also give all of you an opportunity to share. If you'd like to share something in that regard, I think this is an important topic. And if you have any comments or questions, we still have little time to discuss. We have microphone, yeah? Okay, so please, if someone wants to say something in this regard, maybe Yadvacharya Prabhu can say something. He has a lot of experiences practicing Krishna consciousness for so many years, over 40 years, right? Okay, please. Microphone is coming.
You were speaking about book distribution. I was also a new devotee. I was distributing books at the airport. And we would try to approach everybody, but I was very selective on who I would approach. And there was this nice man, tall, nicely dressed, clean cut. So I said, I will approach him. He must be nice. So I approached him, and I was at this point I was told that we were normally distributing BTGs back to Godhead magazines, but they said you have to practice distributing large books, so they gave me Krishna books. I had Krishna books, and I was trying to distribute Krishna books. And at that time, not being trained on how to do it, it was difficult to do. So I wasn't so sure. Anyway, I approached this man and I said, you know, we have these nice books and so on. So we had a routine that we did, you know, and I said, you know, would you like to see it? And I showed him the book. And the book that I showed him was a Krishna book. And it was a Krishna book with Radha and Krishna, the picture of Radha and Krishna. Anybody has seen that? It's a beautiful picture. And the man said, no. I'm a professor, because I asked him what he does. He said he was a professor. I said, oh, great. You know, this is perfect for you. No, I don't believe that. And anyway, we went on, and I followed him and, you know, kind of tried to push the books on him. And he kept saying no, and he walked away. And I thought, oh, God, you know, I'll never be able to distribute large books, you know. So I was sitting there, I was lamenting. I was going, oh, Krishna, you got to help me. I can't seem to do this, you know. I just want to distribute even just, you know, one large book like this. And it was about 10 minutes later, 10, 15 minutes later, the man comes back and he goes, let me see that book. You know, so I said, oh yeah, okay, you know, so I showed him the book and he was looking at the book and he says, I want that one. I said, oh great, you know, he said, well, we're asking for donation, so give a donation. He gave me like $20, and back in the 70s, $20 was a lot of money, especially for a new devotee. I was like, oh wow, well you can have this one and you can have this one. And I started loading him with the books, and he says, no, I just want this one. You know, and I said, but you can have, you know, for $20, you can have all of these. You know, he says, no, I just want that one. So then I gave him the book, and I said, but why that one? He says, I like the picture.
Ribo.
He says, I love the picture. He says, that's what I wanted the book for. So the crazy thing about it is Krishna will get him some way or other. But if you're sincere in doing it, like you said, somehow or other, they'll come back. But that was amazing for him to come back because he couldn't get the picture out of his mind. He came back he bought the book, not knowing what's in it, but he bought it for the picture.
Yeah, Krishna is all attractive. Once one comes in contact with Krishna, that's all. Krishna will never leave that person alone. Thank you, bro. Wonderful, wonderful story. Anyone else would like to share or ask if you have any questions? Okay, so nobody else has any experiences, neither experiences nor faith. Okay, that's all right. Still better use the microphone.
I'm not a regular book distributor like a lot of the very nice brahmacharis and senior devotees here, but whenever I do have books and I'm able to give someone a book, I always ask them, are you going to read it? And that's kind of the key for me, that if they say yes, sincerely, they're going to read it, then I may even give them the book for free, because if the book has been sponsored, if someone has sponsored like a case of Bhagavad Gita's, then you can even give that Bhagavad Gita free of charge if the person will sincerely read the book. And another thing I always do is, if I'm distributing a book, I always make sure that I've read that book, or before giving. So that's always helped me in handing out a few books.
Thank you, bro. Wonderful. Haribo. Actually, I remember one instance, very interesting, that, it's also pretty clear that if you really try to follow the order of your spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada and please Krishna, Krishna will really start manifesting in your life. And in regards to reading the books, you because Srila Prabhupada said, my only complaint about my disciples, that they think that these books are only for distribution and they don't read them. And so this actually happened to me. I was very passionate about distributing books, and then at some point I stopped reading them pretty much completely. Well, of course, I had morning class, but I never had individual reading. And I kept distributing books, and then at one point I came across the man, and I gave him the book, and I started explaining him what's in the book, and I opened the book to him, pictures, very nice pictures, and everybody looks with great interest. But this man had, behaved very, very strangely. He kept the book in his hand, and he didn't even look at the picture. He was just looking at my face. And I felt really awkward. Just to cover up that, feeling, I continued talking to him. But then he said, wait, I want to ask you, do you read these books or you just sell them? And I felt terrible. I had no answer. And he said, you have to read these books before you sell them. And he gave me the book back. That was such a slap on the face. And from this day onwards, I got back to reading the books because, I really felt that Krishna instructed me through this man. And so, yeah, many interesting things are happening. And of course, why it's happening, because, distributing Srila Prabhupada's books is an activity which is so dear to Srila Prabhupada. And so anyone who is connected to that, he gets a lot of mercy, one way or the other. So yeah, book distribution gives a lot of interesting experiences which actually help us not only increase our faith, but even understand all the details, all the fine details of the process of devotional service in action. We can see Krishna in action in many, many ways. Thank you. So, anyone else? Yes, Brewer. Please wait for the microphone.
Hare Krishna, thank you for class.
Thank you.
One day I was getting on the bus and I didn't have any books with me. I thought I want to distribute something. The only thing I had were our little cards that have the Sunday feast information. So I thought, well, I'll distribute these. And I thought everyone would just take one. And no one would take one. And I had to transfer buses. I said, Krishna, please do something. This is ridiculous. So I got on the next bus and I fell down. And the cards scattered all over the place. And different people picked them up and they all started asking questions about the Sunday feast. I thought, that was not nice, Krishna.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, it seems to be very standard, thing which happens to us. When we give up trying, then Krishna steps in and he arranges everything. It's off, I think. At the bottom.
Hare Krishna. One day we were sitting in my philosophy class, and our teacher was going over the religion, topic of religion, and I noticed that he spoke very little about who God is, whether he exists or not. And I thought that there should be more on that topic. So I felt really not satisfied with how much information he gave because it was very little and basic. But in the end, he gave us two questions to answer, whether we believe that God exists and how do we prove that. And then during that time, while everyone was writing their answers down, he turned on music for us to listen that he usually does. And I was just shocked when I heard Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And he actually went on YouTube, and there were actually pictures of Radha and Krishna, and I was just, my smile just filled up my face, and I almost started laughing. I was so overwhelmed with happiness that I thought, well, this is just amazing to hear too, because I'm writing about um, I'm writing about God and that He exists, and actually talking about the philosophy that I've learned, not much, but as far as I know. And then I remember that in my backpack I've always carried two books, Beyond Birth and Death and Journey to Other Planets. And I thought that those books were very quite basic and small for others to understand and maybe get a little more handle on Krishna consciousness. So I was like super excited that I thought that maybe I should make a gift to my teacher to help him maybe discuss religion topic a little bit more, and that during his lecture he actually kind of mentioned Hindu religion but not really got into it. And I've been keeping these books for quite a long time, and actually after our last class when we were discussing grades, I came up to him and I actually gave him the books, and he was so happy. He said, "Oh my goodness, I will treasure them very much," and I was so happy to actually see that experience, because that was my first experience with.
Rivo. Very good. Yeah. Actually, we never know, when we distribute books, where they will end up. One devotee in Russia, he used to be a personal bodyguard of President of Russia. And one time, President was away from his office, and he walked into his office, and he saw Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita on the table, and that book was very well read. It was obvious because it was used very seriously, and there were notes in the book also. So he was reading the book and taking notes. And so, Prabhupada books are reaching very high levels, reaching everywhere. Our business is just to let the books out, then they will find their way to whomever they're meant for. We still have a little more time. If anyone wants to ask or share your experience. Yes, brother.
Hare Krishna, Roji. Roji, this is more of a question. Today morning, thank you very much for the class that you gave at Naperville Center also. And one of your experiences you were sharing in London, you were saying getting into the mood, So that word struck me. And I was questioning myself, how does one get into the mood of distribution? Because a lot of times it's very easy for us to give a book to somebody or to help someone who's asking for help.
Yeah, I was mentioning that I, kind of focused on the process. It was difficult from the beginning to distribute books on a very busy street that was in central London. But then I got into it because, people were so much in rush, it was really hard to stop them. And so to be able to stop them in that rush, I really had to concentrate a lot. But then, it kind of started happening. Yes, it's an austerity because there is a reason, for example, why Krishna didn't want to, fight on behalf of Arjuna or in place of Arjuna. Krishna didn't even need to fight. He could just think of something. One of Krishna's names is Satya Sankalpa. Whatever he's thinking about is becoming a reality. So he could just think, okay, no more Kauravas. They would all just disappear. So, then we may ask why Krishna, put Arjuna through so much trouble. Why did he do it? And also, actually, there was a question. One Prabhupada disciple asked him one time, a very smart question too, that if Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is Krishna himself, he is the Supreme Lord, Jai Shri Kishore Kishore Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai Shri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai. And so Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted Krishna consciousness to spread all over the world, but in reality, during his manifested pastimes, during his presence on the planet, he only spread Krishna consciousness in some parts of India, mostly South India. So, and then this devotee asked Srila Prabhupada why Lord Chaitanya didn't spread Krishna consciousness all over the world, even though he could do it. And then it's described that Srila Prabhupada was actually very happy with the question. It was during the morning walk, and then he stopped. And then, he kind of stuck his cane in the sand that was on the beach. And then he raised his head very high, and he said, Lord Chaitanya haven't done that because he wanted me to do it. So, and it is actually true, because this is Krishna's kindness. He could do everything on his own, but then what we would do? We would just sit and feel completely bored. Nothing to do. So he leaves devotional service for us. He leaves us the opportunity to spread Krishna consciousness. And so in the same way, Srila Prabhupada also left us the opportunity to continue with the mission, which will be successful, no doubt, because whatever pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada says or predicts, it's as good as Krishna's words, because he doesn't say anything from himself. For example, one thing which was a great mystery in my mind, because I come from Russia, and before, when I was in my student days, I was a freedom fighter against the communist rule, and I was actually nearly imprisoned a few times, and then the last time they were really determined to finish me off, and that was the previous time I escaped their I escaped them by agreeing to be drafted into the army. And so they thought, okay, I'm improving because I joined the Russian army, the Red Army. But then in the army, actually my purpose of going there was to, tell the other soldiers the truth of what's going on in the country, because, these guys were real demons. I mean, and this is one of the strongest arguments against atheism, because, learning from Russian history, these communists and atheists, they actually slaughtered 80 million people, their own countrymen, establishing themselves, everybody, men, women, children, old people. They didn't spare anybody. They were so ruthless and so cruel. It's unbelievable. This is what atheism does to people. They think that they are God and they can do any damn thing and they can get away with it. So anyway, because I knew that, and so I was explaining to other soldiers, and then I was caught, and then I was told, you were given the last, you got the last chance, but because you didn't take it, now we're gonna prosecute you. Instead of putting you to prison, we'll send you to a disciplinary battalion. And in Russian army they have these disciplinary formations, and the treatment of the soldiers is so rough that hardly, very few soldiers actually survive that experience. And if they survive, they end up being crippled for life. So this is what was waiting for me. I would either, be tortured to death, or if I would survive, I would be crippled. Of course, I wasn't very happy with that, idea. And then I didn't really know much about Krishna, but I started praying to God to please help me out, because in one sense, whatever I was doing, the freedom fighting, I was doing for his sake. And then the whole system collapsed. It was really amazing, that somehow the communist time was over. And the most amazing thing was that there was not a single external reason for that. The system was going forward in a very strong way, and it was very successful. But suddenly, two leaders in the country, they came together and they decided to shift to democracy and stop, social development, or whatever socialism did. And then I was released. So, and I really felt, oh, this is mercy of the Lord. And but I was very puzzled. Why did it happen? And then years later, I learned that when Srila Prabhupada came for the very first time to Russia in '72, first and last time actually, and then he saw, if you would visit, maybe some of you visited Russia at the time, it was very miserable. Everything, all the buildings were gray, and people looked very gray, and everyone looked very depressed. The whole country. No one smiled, And Prabhupada looked at all this and he said, oh, this is really terrible. But I know that, because these people, God is taken away from them. That's why they're so morose. And then he made a prediction. He said, but when, he didn't even say if, he said when the people of this country will start chanting Hare Krishna, this demoniac system will collapse. And this is what happened. Because from '72 onwards, Srila Prabhupada planted the seed. He made only one man. He preached to only one man, and that one man, Ananta Shanti, he spread Krishna consciousness, all over the country. Actually, all over 15 countries, because the Soviet Union was 15 countries put together. And he did it practically single-handedly, being empowered by Srila Prabhupada. And so many people by that time already chanted Hare Krishna. And then somehow it just happened for no external reason whatsoever. And so this was, one very powerful proof in my life, how, whatever pure devotee says, the Srila Prabhupada says, that's guaranteed to come, that it will actualize in time. And so we can have no doubts. If Srila Prabhupada says that Krishna consciousness will take all over the world, it will take all over the world. But of course, he mercifully allows us to take part in that, to actually make some endeavor in this regard. So Thank you very much for your kind attention. Hare Krishna.
Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
I don't know which one to chant. Oops. I don't remember this one. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, sing. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Sean. Bola Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, please stand. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Look at me hanging today, boy. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Clap the hands. Clap the hands. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Come on, boys. Hey, Hare Rama. All right. Y'all ready? Ready? Hey, hey. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Brothers, brother today. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare